grew up in the 90s and you had the original PlayStation, I would put money on the fact that if you didn't at least own it, you played the Cool Boarders series. When extreme sports were the boss, Cool Boarders sat right at the top with Tony Hawk Pro Skater as the kings of the extreme sports video games. Cool Boarders 3 wasn't just a game that appealed to people who love snowboarding, but also people who have never had their feet strapped into bindings. The game was just a cool snowboarding game, hence the name. There are 5 different mountains, and an extra mode that has you outrunning an avalanche, which is great fun and also one of the most frustrating modes of all. The mountains take you all around the world, from Mount Fuji to the Alps, and even descending Everest. You would think those mountain climbers who climb up Everest would bring some snowboarders. I guess they're too afraid of falling off a 1,000-foot cliff. But not these boarders. Each mountain's events have a specific goal or point total to reach, and if you do that, you can unlock new boards and characters. While the Tony Hawk game offered real skateboarders to play as, these characters are all original. Each one has their own skills and feel different. My favorite was always Eddie, but there is also Nick, Mars, and, well, hello, Sasha. But while the characters may be made up, the snowboards were not. They were real boards from companies like Ride and Burton. But all this would be worthless if the game wasn't fun, and that is definitely not the case. This game puts just as much focus on the racing as it does the tricks. There are multiple game modes, each one offering a very different experience. Some of these include Downhill, which have you racing against 3 other racers and trying to finish first, while also collecting a specific amount of points. There's also Slopestyle, which is a long run through a trick park. There's also Half Pipe and Big Air, where you try to get the highest score possible. All of these are great and pretty tough. You will restart many times before you finally get what you need. I like Downhill mostly because you can punch other racers and make them fall and then laugh at them. The tricks were also an essential part of the game. The tricks skate the fine line between realism and insanity. There are flips and spins and grabs, all what you would expect from an extreme sports game. It's when you start mixing these tricks together do you see your score really go up. And anyone who's ever played this game will say nothing is more exhilarating than when you hear that beeping saying that you have a long grab going. The longer it goes, the more exciting it becomes because the more nervous you get from fear of crashing. The controls feel a little stiff simply because of the age of the game, with a power meter to jump, but these were great when this was first released, and I'm not going to pass judgment 10 years after the fact. And after you get used to them, you'll have no problem with them. I can boil this review down to a simple compound sentence. If you've played this game, you don't need me to tell you how good it is. And if you haven't, take these words to heart and play it so you can understand what you've missed.